I saw you when you lay down last night, and the weight on your chest seemed denser than the very air in the room. I saw your hands trembling as you tried to organize your thoughts, while that accusing voice whispered in your ear that your mistake was too great to be forgotten. You came here because your soul cries out to be freed from this guilt that steals the sparkle from your eyes. But what you haven't yet realized is that my grace moved faster than your fall. I have already forgiven you before your thoughts even formulated the first cry for help. You didn't arrive at this video by chance. This is our appointed meeting in silence. Why do you still hide from me in the shadows of your past, feeling as if the sky were made of bronze and your prayers didn't reach beyond the ceiling? I stopped what I was doing in the universe to tell you that your process of pain and weariness ends here. As I wrote through the prophet Isaiah in chapter 43, verse 25, I myself, am he who blots out your transgressions for my own sake, and I will remember your sins no more. Today, on this journey we are beginning, I will remove the scales from your eyes and show you the path of restoration that I have prepared for your future. If you remain with me until the last second of this message, I will whisper a specific phrase to your heart that will serve as a seal of protection for your new walk, and a prophetic blessing will be released upon your life. If this word of mine is reaching the deepest wounds of your soul, write down below your name, the country and city from where you hear me now, and tell me what time the clock shows at this exact moment when my voice reaches you. Let your cry rise like sweet incense before my throne. Right now, with all the truth that exists within you, Lord my God, I am here. I signed up because I love you and want to hear you. I know you're afraid that if people knew who you really are, they would leave. But I know you completely, and I've decided to stay. Stay with me until the end, because I have a clear answer to give you. But before I show you the table I prepared for your banquet, I need you to understand what really happened in those hours of solitude that no one saw. Do you feel the touch of my peace now? If this beginning comforted your heart, leave your sign of gratitude by clicking on the heart of this video and share this mystery with someone who also lives as a prisoner of yesterday. What do you feel when you realize that I never took my gaze away from you, even in your darkest days? He writes in the comments, "You see me, but I haven't yet revealed to you the deepest part of what heaven recorded about your story on that cold morning. I saw when the silence became too heavy inside that empty kitchen, while the clock on the wall showed 3:30 in the morning. I saw the exact moment your hands, tired from a long day's work, gripped that mug of now cold coffee, and your eyes fixed on some random point on the floor, lost in a labyrinth of what-ifs. Do you remember that instant? The cold that rose from your bare feet was nothing compared to the ice you felt in your soul when revisiting that scene from 10, 20, or 30 years ago. You carry an invisible album of mistakes, leafing through each page with a cruelty I never used on you. I was there, leaning against the doorframe, watching the weight on your shoulders bend your posture, while you judged yourself for words I didn't say, or for decisions that at the time seemed the only way out. Many times you think that my silence is proof of my disapproval, but the truth is that I was only waiting for you to stop shouting at yourself so that you could hear my whisper. You feel as if you're in a prison with the doors open, but your feet are shackled by the memories of what you believe you've ruined. Your mind is a courtroom where you are the only judge, the only prosecutor, and the only condemned. But who gave you that gavel? Who told you that my sacrifice wasn't enough to cover that specific chapter of your story? As it is written in Psalm 103, verse 12, "As far as the east is from the west, so far have I removed your transgressions from you." You try to measure the distance between what you did and who you are today, but I have already erased that account. That feeling that the sky is closed is just the smoke of your own guilt blurring your vision. I see your beauty even under the ashes of your regret. If this portrait of your inner self makes sense to you, leave your sign of surrender here. Sign up for this journey if you feel your heart needs this shelter, and send this message to someone you know who lives imprisoned by a past that has already died. Tell me honestly, what is the secret you keep deep in your soul that makes you believe you are not worthy of being happy again? Write in the comments, "My soul rests." But listen carefully, because now I need to tell you something you haven't yet understood about how I see your scars. There is a hidden purpose in every mark that time has left on you. As I look at you, and see the weight you let fall at my feet. I feel the sincere desire that springs from your heart to want to do something in response to my constant care. You realize that this place, this sacred channel that unites us in silence, is the fertile ground where I have deposited the seeds of your emotional healing. If your heart feels touched by this living word, and if it is possible for you, only if it is possible, transform your gratitude into a seed of love for this channel. Consider my love and that of my son Jesus, and contribute using the link in the description of this video and in the pinned comment. There you will find the place where your offering of love can be deposited and consecrated before the Creator of all things. You can contribute any amount. If you want a different amount, just type the desired amount, and remember, only what fits in your heart. I receive with love. The amount doesn't matter. What matters is the heart with which you give, because what is little for you can be much for the one who receives. Whoever contributes any amount with a sincere heart, please remember to include your name and city with your contribution. On the first day of the following month, in a unique and special video on our channel and page, Divine Love, the Voice of God, your name will be remembered, mentioned in gratitude, and covered with divine blessings released in prayer. For it is written in the book of Proverbs chapter 3 verse 9, "Honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your produce." Every offering made in faith is a seed before me, your Lord, and none of them will fail to bear fruit. I watch in secret and reward in the sight of all. Stay until the end of this message, because I still want to touch your heart with my voice. I know that many times you have felt alone on your journey, thinking that your offerings of love went unnoticed, but I was there in every act of renunciation. When you reach out to support this work, you are allowing my voice to reach homes where despair reigns, and therefore I am preparing for you a harvest that your eyes have not yet seen. Do not fear, for your faithfulness is the fragrance that rises to me. Let us continue this dialogue, for I have greater secrets to reveal to you today. If this opportunity to sow has touched your spirit, leave your sign of unity and share this video as an act of charity. What do you feel when you realize that your hand can be an instrument of my providence? He writes in the comments, "My seed flourishes." But hold your breath, for now I will show you how the forgiveness I gave you before you asked was already written in the stars, long before you were born. You look at the clock and feel as if time has frozen in that mistake, don't you? As if your life has been trapped in a fraction of a second where the choice was made, and regret came immediately afterward, bitter as gall. But let me tell you a secret the world has tried to hide from you. I am not taken by surprise by your humanity. Before the first breath of life entered your lungs, I had already seen every sharp turn and every stumble in your path. Do you remember the weight in your stomach, that nausea you felt when you realized you had failed, that lump in your throat that prevented you from swallowing your own saliva while cold sweat trickled down the back of your neck in the middle of the dark room? I was there, and what I want you to understand now, once and for all, is that my forgiveness is not a reaction to your request. It is a decision I made in eternity. You tried to buy my peace with promises never to err again, but my peace is not for sale. It is a gift. You spend hours trying to explain your reasons to me, as if I needed justifications to love you. The love I feel for you is not based on what you do right, but on who I am. Think of the cross. There atop that mountain more than 2,000 years ago, amidst the blood and absolute silence, I saw your face. I saw that exact mistake that today makes you bow your head in shame. And as the nail pierced my flesh, I said, "It is paid. It is forgiven." Even before you were born, your debt had already been cancelled in the court of heaven, as it is written in Paul's letter to the Romans, chapter 5, verse 8. But God demonstrates his own love for us in this. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us. You don't need to climb mountains or walk on hot coals to reach me. You only need to release the burden you yourself tied to your back. Leave that weariness aside and open your arms. Breathe deeply now. Can you feel the air entering more lightly without that pang of anguish? It is my hand untying the knots that the enemy made in your mind to convince you that you were a lost cause. If you feel that this eternal forgiveness is washing your soul today, share this message with someone who lives under the whip of their own conscience. Leave your sign that you accept this free gift by clicking the like button. Tell me with all the sincerity of your soul, what would you do today if you knew, with all the certainty in the universe, that nothing you do can separate me from you? Write in the comments, I am free. But don't rush to leave my presence, for what I have prepared for your daily life is something that goes beyond a fleeting moment. It is a constant companion for your loneliest nights, something I prepared with my own hands to care for you. My daughter, I know that, even after hearing my words of forgiveness, your mind sometimes whispers those old accusations again when the sun sets and the house falls silent. The freedom I have given you needs to be exercised every day, like a breath of life that renews your lungs with each sunrise. If your heart desires to dive even deeper into this ocean of mercy that I have prepared for you, I have left a special journey, a gift in the form of a path that I designed with all my love for each of my beloved children, the digital book called Divine Love Devotional, The Voice of God. It is not just a collection of phrases, but a daily remedy, a companion for your early mornings, and a guide to sustain you when doubt tries to steal your peace again. This devotional was prepared to be your private meeting place with me day after day, in silence and deep intimacy. Access to this journey of restoration is in the link in the description of this video and in the pinned comment. But listen carefully to what your Father tells you now. If today your hands are tired and it is not possible for you, do not condemn yourself for even a second. Remain here with me. Continue with this message, because I will also sustain you and embrace you through these words. My love for you depends on nothing but my own essence, and so that your heart may rest and you may have no worries. Soon after you register, access will arrive directly in the email you registered, with all the correct instructions, step by step, to begin your journey of renewal by my side. For it is written in the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verses 22 and 23, The Lord's mercies are the reason we are not consumed, for his compassions never end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Let this truth be the balm that heals the wounds that guilt has left. Now close your eyes for a moment, breathe in this peace that surpasses understanding, and continue to listen to me. For I still have something to untie regarding the knots of your past that I wish to untie today. If you feel you need this daily companionship, share this invitation with a friend who is also seeking guidance. How do you feel knowing that I have prepared a path for us to be together every day? Write in the comments. Your voice guides me. But I haven't finished showing you how I see the details you try to hide from me. Have you ever noticed how certain memories act like knots tightened in a rope? You try to walk forward, but you feel that sudden tug in your chest that makes you stop and lose your breath. I see those knots that time and remorse have tied in your soul. I see the moment you look away from a picture frame, or quickly change the subject because that wound still throbs, hidden under layers of rehearsed smiles. Many times in the silence of your room, you feel the weight of an invisible suitcase that never empties. It's the weight of the words that got stuck in your throat, and the actions you'd like to erase as if they were drawings in the sand. I am acting now, in the details of your story that you consider irreparable. While the world judges you by the cover of the book, I am reading between the lines the pages you wrote with tears and trembling hands. Do you remember that afternoon when the sun streamed through the window and you felt such a great tightness that you thought your heart couldn't bear it? I was there, collecting every drop that fell from your face. What you call a fatal mistake, I call part of your learning, for none of your scars are wasted in my kingdom. For it is written in the book of the prophet Isaiah in chapter 61, verse 3, To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them a crown of beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. I am exchanging your ashes for beauty at this very second. I enter those dark rooms of your memory, where you locked away your peace and threw away the key, and I open the windows so that my light may dispel the shadows. Do not let the enemy convince you that the knots of your past are stronger than my hands that created the stars. I am undoing every knot of pain, every tangle of sorrow that prevents you from running. Feel the lightness beginning to touch your shoulders, as if a heavy armor were being removed from you. If you feel that my hand is untying what held you captive, leave your sign of freedom by liking this video now. Subscribe to this channel so that your faith may be nourished daily by my voice. Share this message with someone who still walks bent over by the weight of yesterday. Let me ask your heart something. What part of your story did you think I could never fix? Write in the comments, "Knots untied." But I haven't yet shown you what happens when you stop looking at yourself through the eyes of the accuser and begin to see yourself through my fatherly gaze. Come closer to the mirror for a moment. I know that often you avoid fixing your gaze on your own reflection for more than a few seconds. I see what happens when you face that image on a grey morning. You don't see the beloved daughter I created, but rather a draft of disappointments and the weight of the marks that guilt has left. You count each line of expression as if they were scars from battles you believe you have lost. I feel the cold water you splash on your face, trying to wake up from a nightmare that is already over, but that you insist on reliving in your mind. You are so merciful to others, always ready to offer a hug and a word of hope to those who stumble. But why do you reserve for yourself only the whip of judgment? You see yourself through the blurred lenses of your past, but I see you through the blood of my son, which washed away every stain that makes you lower your face. When you look in the mirror and see someone who doesn't deserve to start over, I look from my throne and see my masterpiece, someone for whom I would give everything again, just to hear your voice in prayer. For it is written in the first book of Samuel, chapter 16, verse 7, "The Lord does not see as man sees, for man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." And what I see in your heart, my little one, is a genuine desire to be better, a love that never died, only suffocated by layers of shame. I don't see your stumbles of yesterday. I see your courage to be here now, seeking my face. Stop being your own executioner. Stop measuring your worth by the standards of a world that doesn't know the depth of my grace. The face of mercy is not in what you do, but in what I have already done for you. Take a deep breath and allow my light to illuminate the parts of you that you still try to hide behind makeup or forced smiles. You are beautiful in my eyes, not despite your struggles, but because in each one of them you have revealed the strength of one who, even wounded, still knows how to cry out to the Father. If this revelation of love touched the depths of your soul, leave your sign of gratitude by clicking the like symbol. If you feel that this channel is your refuge to hear my voice, subscribe so that you never walk without direction. She shares this message with a woman who has forgotten how precious she is to heaven. Tell me now, with all your soul, if you could see yourself today as I see you, what would you say to that person who looks back at you in the mirror? Write in the comments, "I am loved." But I have not yet shown you the banquet I am preparing for you, far beyond the empty table that the enemy tried to convince you was your only destiny. You look at the remnants of what has passed and see only an empty table, a broken plate, and the silence of one who feels forgotten. But what I see, my daughter, is something completely different. While the world points out the empty chairs of those who have departed, or the shortcomings that your life seems to accumulate, I am spreading a white, clean, and immaculate tablecloth over your future. Do you smell that aroma that is beginning to fill the corners of your house? It is the perfume of hope that I am preparing in the silence of my sovereign will. I am not inviting you to eat the crumbs of regret. I am calling you to a banquet where the main course is the peace you have never experienced. You thought your table would forever be marked by the stain of that mistake, but I have already cleansed everything. I pulled out the chair for you, and I'm just waiting for you to sit down and stop looking back at that door that's already closed. Remember when you were little and felt that security seeing the table set and knowing someone was taking care of you? That's the feeling I want to restore in your heart today. The past has no permanent seat in your tomorrow. It was an unwanted visitor that I myself invited to leave. For it is written in Psalm 23, verse 5, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows." Your enemies, which are guilt, shame, and fear, are now forced to watch in silence while I serve you the best of my kingdom. They wanted to see you hungry for love, but I will make your cup overflow so much that there will be enough for everyone around you. Leave the door open for the new. Stop trying to reheat yesterday's pains and come taste what is fresh, what is alive, what I have just prepared for this very moment in your life. The table is set, and the place of honor has your name engraved on it. If you feel this banquet of hope is for you, show your acceptance of the invitation by clicking the like button. If you want my voice to be the daily bread in your home, subscribe so we can continue this soul encounter. Share this message with someone who feels forgotten by the wayside. Tell me, with an open soul, what is missing from your table today so that your heart feels fully satisfied. Write in the comments, Table of Honor. But there is still something I want to restore in you that goes beyond what is on the table. I want to touch the structure of your strength and the health of your walk, breathing life where weariness seemed to have won. I feel the slight tremor that runs through your legs when you finally sit down after a day of invisible battles. I see the weight that has accumulated in your joints, as if you were carrying the whole world on your shoulders, while your mind keeps repeating every mistake you've made. You feel your eyes burning, not just from physical exhaustion, but from the weariness of a soul that has forgotten what it's like to walk without the burden of self-criticism. Often at the end of the day, your body seems like a desert of dry bones, lifeless and directionless, where each step costs an effort you no longer have to give. But listen to what the Creator of breath has to say to you now. I am breathing upon you a wind of renewal that does not come from the earth, but from my own nostrils. I am touching the structure of your being, lubricating the gears of your will, and restoring vigor to your weary limbs. Where there was exhaustion, I place resistance. Where there was discouragement, I place a flame that is not extinguished by the breezes of the world. You were not made to crawl under the shadow of guilt, but to fly above the storms. For it is written in the book of the prophet Isaiah, in chapter 40, verse 31, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." I'm fulfilling this promise in your biology and in your spirit at this very moment. Feel the circulation of a new hope coursing through your veins, easing the tightness in your chest and restoring lightness to your walk. You will smile again with your whole body, and joy will be the fuel that takes you to places you thought you would never reach again. If you feel this breath of life reaching you now, leave your sign of receipt by clicking on the heart of this video. If you want my presence to be your daily strength, subscribe so that you never lack the nourishment of my word. Share this message with someone who feels at the limit of their physical strength. Before we continue, let me ask you, what would you do tomorrow if you woke up with all the energy and peace that your soul so desires? Write in the comments, strength from heaven. But hold on to this breath I give you, because there is still something I have kept in the deepest part of my heart, a secret about your worth that I have not yet revealed to you, and that will change the way you face your own existence. Have you ever asked yourself in the depths of your silence what I truly feel when my eyes meet yours? There is a secret I have kept in the center of my heart since before the stars were hung in the void, a secret that not even the angels fully understood. You have spent your whole life trying to measure your worth by what you give, by what you achieve, or by the perfection you try to display. But the secret I keep is that your value to me is not in what you do, but in the simple fact that you exist and are exactly who you are. I saw the exact moment of your conception, the first beat of your little heart, that seemed like a tiny drum echoing my glory. There I whispered your name and engraved it on the palm of my hands with a fire that no flood of mistakes could extinguish. Many times you felt like a grain of sand, lost in a vast and indifferent desert. But to me you are the priceless pearl for which I would give the whole universe again. I never gave up on you, not because I am obligated to love you, but because I don't know how to be God without you near. The secret is that your story is not an accident, but a script I wrote with the blood of my own son to ensure a peaceful ending. You carry within you a spark of my own eternity, something that no guilt can erase and no shame can tarnish. As it is written in the book of the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I knew you with all your fears, with all your doubts, and with that guilt that I am dissolving today. You are my best-kept secret, the treasure I hid in the field of the world. Stop seeking validation in the eyes of those who did not create you. Hear my voice saying, "You are mine, and that is enough." If this secret revealed today has brought new meaning to your life, leave your sign of love by clicking on the heart of this video and share this revelation with someone who also feels worthless. If you want to continue discovering what heaven thinks of you, sign up so that our conversation never ends. Let me ask you, what would change in your way of walking tomorrow if you truly believed that you are God's favorite person on earth? Write in the comments, "I am your treasure." Now, prepare your spirit, for we have reached the moment when I will give you the key I promised you at the beginning, the definitive seal that will close the door to your past and open the portal to your extraordinary destiny. Right now, I feel your soul breathing in a way you haven't experienced in years. It's as if a 1,000-ton weight has been lifted from your shoulders, and the light of my kingdom is finally bathing the areas that were dark and cold. We have journeyed together, revisiting the knots of your past, the table of your hope, and the vigor of your health, all so that you could reach this definitive meeting point. You are no longer the person who entered here carrying the whip of guilt. You are now a woman clothed in an authority that the world cannot give nor take away. Remember that, at the beginning of our conversation, I promised you a clear answer. I promised you a phrase that would be whispered to your heart, like a spiritual key for those who remained with me until the end. That time has come. This phrase is not just a sentence, it is the fuel for every step you will take from now on, whether in the hospital, in your kitchen, at your work, or in the early mornings of prayer. The key to your new life, the seal of your liberation from all guilt, is this: I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Write this phrase in the comments right now with all the strength of your soul. Write it in large letters, like a victory cry that echoes in the courts of heaven and confounds your accusers. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. By writing this, you are sealing your covenant with me and declaring that your strength does not come from yourself, but from my presence that never abandons you. Do not leave this place of peace. Continue immersed in my voice, for I still have much more to reveal to you in other messages that I have prepared especially for you. There is a trail of blessings in our playlist that will lead you through paths of tranquil waters. Go there, continue listening to what your Father has to say, for our dialogue is only beginning. Receive now my final breath upon your life. Guilt died in my forgiveness. Your strength was reborn in my embrace, and your future now shines with my eternal glory.